President to appoint retired judge to report on the Mithora disaster. Disposal of Colombo garbage obstructed today as well. Attention focused on waste management being vested in a centralized institution. Minister Arjuna Ranatunga responds to Prasanna Ranatunga.
මම රජීරන්තුංග මහත්තයාගේ පුතෙක්ද කියන එක අම්මා හොඳට දන්නවා. අපේ අම්මා දන්නවා අපේ අම්මා කවුද කියන එකත් අපි දන්නවා. ඒකින්ද මේ වගේ කතා කරනකොට මේ පොඩ්ඩක් දේශපාලන කතා කරන්න හොඳ නැහැ.
Education Ministry appoints committee which contradicts Right to Information Act.
Good evening and welcome. You're with Newsfirst, your #1 news provider. I am Shamir Rasulde.
And I'm Sonali Wanigabaduke. We have a comprehensive bulletin ahead. First, here's a look at your top stories in the local arena. President Maithripala Sirisena has decided to appoint a retired judge to look into and provide a report on the collapse of the Mithota garbage dump. The president revealed this decision during a meeting held with heads of media institutions.
The responsibility of this tragedy goes to every entity that has a legal right to resolve this issue. When instructions are issued, instead of implementing them, some people engage in a political tug-of-war. Some people want garbage to be dumped here because they benefit from it. The lorries are extorted when they enter and exit the dump. This had been the situation. I will be appointing a retired judge to ascertain why such a situation took place. I hope to have this report within a month. Everyone will be able to learn a lesson through this. We will have to reveal to the country where the fault is.
During the meeting, the President also advised officials to take immediate measures to present the audit bill before Parliament. The President expressed concern regarding the delays to the audit bill, which was a promise he made on the campaign trail.
In December last year, when I appeared for the budget debate, I told the opposition that the audit bill will be submitted to Parliament by January. I have issued the necessary instructions, but there has been a delay. It is good that this was brought to my attention today. I am calling on all department heads to bring this bill before Parliament immediately.
The President also stated that he would take steps to provide a fresh look into the state service. President Maithripala Sirisena noted that the administration of SITEM has been informed to remove the university from individual ownership and to allow the public to purchase shares of the university via the share market. The President also noted that the administration had also been informed to amend the fees charged by students in order to make it more affordable. The head of state also reiterated that he is willing to curtail powers of the executive presidency or abolish it, adding that state assets will not be sold to China or India.
The great treason had already been committed when we took office. It was the Port City project. None of the state leaders had signed an agreement of this nature. We changed it. We were able to speak and negotiate with China and reach an agreement which both parties can agree on. They had given away 200 hectares. We converted this to a lease. If the previous agreement had remained, I wouldn't even be able to get into a helicopter from the Defence Ministry helipad and take off without China's permission. We changed all this, but there is no noise about it.
The complete speech made by President Maithripala Sirisena will be telecast on our sister channel Sirisa TV at 10:30 p.m. on the 26th of this month. That's next Wednesday.
The Kurunava Divisional Secretary Sugak Sisirakumara says that the collection of data to provide houses to those who are affected by the Mithrimula garbage dump collapse has begun.
The Tri-Forces are continuing the search, rescue and relief operations at the site, dividing the area into 4 different sectors. The electricity supply to the area is being reconnected, while the police K9 unit has also been brought in for the rescue operations.
The Sri Lanka Army has been able to completely level down the debris that was here after the collapse of the Mithota garbage dump. I am currently probably standing on a location where a house is located about a week ago. What you see behind me are 3 layers of the debris that the army has been able to put up to prevent a further collapse of the garbage dump behind me. As we speak, the Sri Lanka Army is continuing their relief and rescue operations here in the Mitotamulla area. A team from Japan has also come here for the rescue, a technical team rather, from Japan has also come here for the evaluation process. A special transport service to move the belongings of the people living in the high-risk areas to the safe zone has also commenced, while an allowance is being provided to the people who move away. Area residents continue to arrive very close to the area where rescue operations are being carried out, looking for their belongings and inquiring about the people who are still considered missing.
අන්තිමට ඒ ගානේ රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ එනවා කියලා අතින් තෙල්ල අපි ටෙරන්ස් එක මෙහා පැත්තට බලාගෙන ඉන්න බාගෙන නැහැ. රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ කොහෙන්ද කට්ටියකුත් එක්කන් ඇවිල්ලා අර පිටේ එහා පැත්තේ කැලේ පැත්තෙන් ගිහිල්ලා ඒ ගේල කැඩිච්ච මිනිස්සු එතන ඇත්තෙන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ මේ මිනිස්සුත් එක සාකච්ඡා කරලා ගිහිල්ලා දැන් අර ටීවී එකේ දානවා මම සාකච්ඡා කරුවා මේ කට්ටියක මෙහෙම මේ අමූලික බොරුනේ කරන්නේ. දැන් මොනවා කරලා ඉන්ද්‍රිය දේලා ඉවරයි. දැන් එක්කෙනෙක්වත් බාරගන්නේ නැහැ. දැන් වෙච්ච දේ අල්මිනි ගන්නවත් කියන්නේ.
Newsfirst also visited the Laksanda housing complex in Salamulla, Kolonnawa, where houses will be provided to those who were affected by the garbage dump collapse. The manager of the housing complex told Newsfirst that the 11-storey housing complex includes welfare centres, shops and all the required facilities for the people to come and settle there. The manager further stated that the environment there is suitable for living and that there is the ability to provide an uninterrupted supply of electricity and water. Until the houses are provided to the area residents who were affected, they are residing at the Kolonnawa Terence N.D. Silva College. While the district secretariat has taken steps to provide the people with food, water and other facilities, several privately owned organizations as well as individuals have come forward to bring in relief for the people who have been affected. This is Terence N.D. Silva College in Kolonnawa. The people who are currently residing in this college have lost something in their life. Be it their relatives, be it their loved ones, be it the property, the Mitotamulla garbage dump has taken something from their lives. We have been here since morning and we have spoken to a lot of people here. All of them echo one sentiment. They want to move out from this camping site into a new home that will be provided by the government. With this new hope, the people here want to start a new life where there will be no garbage dump following them. I'm Saturang Hapwarachi reporting for Newsfirst from Kolonnawa.
We met a lady who worked as a janitor at a private financial institution.
My daughter was to go to the hospital. I came out to take her clothes. I saw the garbage dump dividing into two. I'm 58 years old and I've never seen something like that my entire life. We saw a house going up and getting tangled on the wires. We took our 3 children and ran.
What do you do as a profession?
I work as a janitor.
What about your profession for the past few days?
I have not reported to work. We don't have a place to live. Even if we have a house, we will always remember what happened during the new year of 2017. When the floods came, the water receded. We lost lives because of this. Since the tragedy in Mitotamulla, several issues have arisen over the management of solid waste. Obstructions to the disposal of garbage from Colombo remains as one of the key issues.
The Urban Commissioner said around 150 to 200 metric tons of garbage is collected daily during the period due to the Sinhala and Tamil New Year and school holidays. A portion of this garbage was to be disposed at the garbage recycling plant in Dompe today when it was obstructed by a group including the former chairman of the Dompe Pradesh Sabha. The police attempted to control the protest. Thereafter, 9 garbage trucks of the Colombo Municipal Council which arrived were obstructed by the protesters. The police special task force were also dispatched for the assistance of the police as a tense situation erupted. Even by this evening, the group did not allow the garbage to be disposed. It is disappointing to see some of the people who gave leadership to the protests today. They were the ones who gave leadership to dispose the garbage here in Kirindivela, Dompe. The former Pradesh Sabha chairman and the group who led these protests were powerful members of the government at the time. Some were chief ministers, deputy ministers and ministers, and some were chairpersons of the Pradesh Sabhas. The recycling plant was brought to Dompe back then amidst our objection. So after taking the first step to bring the recycling plant to Dompe, today they are leading protests against the disposal of garbage here. All that they are trying to do is to gain political mileage through this. A protest is also staged close to the Thurai bridge in Jaila today against plans to dispose garbage from Colombo in the Muthurajavela area. The police special task force was dispatched to the location.
අද දිනේ දාලා ස්ථානාධිපති පමනුගමට තමයි මේක සඳහන් කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඊතුමාට මෙහි ආව ෆැක්ස් එකේ පිටපතක් මම දෙන්නම්. මෙතන තියෙනවා මහත්මයා මෙතන පොඩි මට ගැටලුවක් තියෙනවා. කොළඹ මහනගර සභාවේ නාගරික කොමසාරිස්. මෙයාට බලපෑම් නැහැ නීතිමය හැකියාවක් අපේ රප්පාදීස්වේකේ මේ වත්තල ප්‍රදේශීය සභාවේ පිළිබඳව මම දන්නේ නැහැ.
Several garbage trucks which arrived at the Karadiyana garbage dump were turned back. However, the dump had taken in 350 tons of garbage today. The issue of waste management is beginning to spread across every part of the country. An estimate of 3,500 metric tons of garbage is collected daily from the Western province alone. This is 58% of the total collection of garbage from the entire country. Local government bodies collect just 2,400 metric tons of garbage. Around 15% of the garbage collected are used to manufacture compost, while 10% is recycled. The remaining 75% is disposed in open areas. 65 to 66% of the country's solid waste in urban areas are biodegradable and are carbonic in nature. These are scenes captured by our cameras from a few areas in the island. As waste management centers in most parts are not operating in a proper manner, waste could be seen disposed in open environments.
The primary issue is that people aren't aware of this. The people need to be aware that garbage is something manufactured by ourselves. So we need to manage our waste. Both sides must be held accountable for this. There is a responsibility among the people as well as the authorities tasked with managing garbage. For example, we tell the public to separate their garbage. But when it is collected, they are taken all together in one bunch. This breaks the trust of the people.
This has to be made an essential service, and to put a stop to this tug of war, a central waste management authority must come into effect. The main cities like Colombo, Kotte, Kolonnawa, Dehiwala and Moratuwa are the ones which possess the most severe issues. Then there is Kandy. There is a massive mound of garbage in Guhagoda. There is also a garbage mound in Gampola. Garbage is dumped in the Mahaveli river, and further downriver, water is collected for Kandy for its consumption. So this is the reality, and it has to be controlled. Even in Galle and Mathura, there may not be garbage dumps as big as this, but they are considerably large. So we kindly request everyone to stop using the phrase, "We do not need Colombo's garbage." Instead, let us all resolve the garbage crisis in Colombo together. Let's make this an essential service where a central authority will manage the garbage of all the main cities. It is difficult for the Pradesh Sabhas, urban councils, provincial councils and ministries to do this.
President Maithripala Sirisena has issued an order to transform the disposal of garbage by local government bodies into an essential service. According to the President's media division, the Gazette will come into effect from midnight today.
The President has issued the Gazette in accordance with Section 17 of the Public Security Ordinance. The Gazette will encompass waste management activities by local government bodies, including the collection, transportation, disposal and temporary storage of garbage. Attempts made by any individual or group of persons to delay, obstruct, prevent, harm or threaten to harm persons or assets deployed for this purpose would constitute an offence. Inciting the public to act out against waste management activities or influencing persons to not carry out their duties in waste management also constitutes a crime. Through the Gazette, the police has also been vested with the power to arrest persons who engage in these activities or are believed to have engaged in these activities without a warrant. Persons found guilty of an offence under this Gazette by a magistrate could face rigorous imprisonment.
The Janata Vimukti Peramana also convened a media briefing today regarding the Mithuramulla tragedy.
The JVP came into power at the Tismaharama Pradesh Sabha in 2002. The first ever garbage recycling plant in the country commenced at the Tismaharama Pradesh Sabha between 2002 and 2010. This is how the project commenced. The biodegradable materials are put into this part while the non-biodegradable materials are put into the other. The project that recommenced was destroyed during the Rajapaksa era due to petty political agendas. This was how governments operated. Rajapaksa says that he had a plan for Mithuramulla. He is lying. The Rajapaksa rule started this in 2008. This is the garbage mountain that they created. Hundreds have been affected. The Prime Minister who went there is covering his nose and mouth. This is a tragedy. They are wasting billions for government projects. If you take the cost of one minister's vehicle, you can sort this garbage issue. It is that simple. If this was manslaughter, the former government aided it. This government also aided the process. The current government and the former government are responsible for these murders. We are holding discussions with several president councils to file a case claiming that this is murder.
Minister of Ports and Shipping Arjun Ranatunga convened a media briefing today to announce a progress review of JCT Limited Oil Bank. What followed was not related to the issue at hand.
Parliamentarian Prasanna Ranatunga says that if you're the son of late Reggie Ranatunga, you should have intervened to save the Hambantota port.
It is true that he is my brother, but he is representing the joint opposition. As Minister, I have shown the extent of the amendments we have made to the agreements. We have shown the extent of our commitment to protect the port. If my father was alive, he would be very pleased. He was one of the key players in ensuring that the SLFP did not split. I have no desire to speak about my brother's political policies. He speaks of the garbage dump. Don't spread lies when people have died in such an incident. Do not blame the government or others. As the government and as ministers, we are responsible. However, we are paying for the sins of the past. Did any of those ministers or chief minister have anything to say? No. They are like cats in a house that ate what they were given. Mahinda Rajapaksa is the one who piggybacked on the dead and on my father. He did not even inquire into my father. But I am dismayed that today he is speaking about my father. My mother is well aware whether I am the son of Reggie Ranatunga. We are well aware who our mother is. Those accountable have not been punished. I am against that. We want to nab those who committed theft. The people who committed the largest theft at the Ports Authority have sided with the Chinese firm today. We are here to rectify mistakes. Those who have deals with the previous government have associated themselves with some of our ministers. Those who committed theft in the past are roaming free. I am extremely disappointed over this situation. I am doing what is right. If the President asks me to leave, I will leave. I am not a puppet to leave when someone else tells me to do so. I am not such a person.
The media briefing took place following a progress review of JCT Limited Oil Bank. It was revealed that the profits of JCT Limited Oil Bank had increased by 113%. The revenue for 2016 was 204 million rupees compared to the 168 million rupees generated for 2015.
Recovering private lands captured due to terrorist activities between 1983 and 2009 continues to be an issue faced by a section of people with lands in the north and east. In April last year, the government enacted the Prescription Special Provisions Act No. 5 of 2016 to enable special legal provisions to be made in respect of disadvantaged persons who were unable to pursue their rights in courts for the recovery of lands due to activities of militant terrorist groups between 1st May 1983 to 18th May 2009. According to the provisions of the Act, aggrieved parties have only one more year to make claims before court through this legislation, that is, before 26th April 2018. News First spoke to President of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka, U.R. De Silva, for a clarification.
People were asking it right through, and now the government has introduced this particular law that there is a specific period given. During that period, if they are willing to come forward and claim their property, then of course they can, through Legal Aid Commission or Legal Aid Foundation of the Bar Association, if they are ready to contact the Bar Association, they can straight away write to President, Bar Association of Sri Lanka, Colombo 12, or else they can call us through 244-7134 or 233-1697. We are ready to give necessary legal assistance.
The Indian government has decided to ban ministers and senior officials from using red beacons on their cars to speed through traffic.
Indian Finance Minister Arun Jaitley said the rule will be in effect from the 1st of May. Under the new rule, only emergency vehicles, ambulances, fire engines and police cars can use the flashing blue lights. Critics say VIPs often use red beacons as a status symbol, leading to traffic chaos for commuters. Status-conscious politicians and government officials are also accused of using the beacons to bypass gridlock city traffic on official business and show off their importance. In 2013, India's Supreme Court had said that only those holding constitutional office, the President, the Prime Minister, Cabinet Ministers, senior judges and some other officials could have red beacons on their cars. While Sri Lanka has similar laws in place, there are plenty of vehicles on the roads that use what is commonly referred to as police lights. Strobe lights, or what are commonly known as police lights, are illegal for civilian use in the country. However, a simple Google search will give you multiple websites where you can purchase these police lights quite conveniently. We spoke to police media spokesperson DIG Priyantha Jayakodi on the matter.
Using strobe lights in the vehicles are prohibited. According to the Motor Traffic Act, the main headlights are only permitted lights to be used, and most of these lights are obstructing to the opposite driver or the rider, and police have to take legal action against these drivers who are using these lights according to the Motor Traffic Act. And we urge all the drivers especially to remove all these lights, and otherwise the action will be taken against them under the Motor Traffic Act.
A person who had been roaming in Horton Place inquiring into the details of former MP Tiran Alas was arrested by the Cinnamon Gardens police. It was later revealed that this suspicious individual was a police officer attached to the police headquarters.
An individual had been visiting the premises of the office of Tiran Alas in a motorcycle with no license plates. He was arrested by the police today after his visit was informed by the security personnel at the premises. In response to the questions posed by the Cinnamon Gardens police, the suspect had said that he serves as a police officer as well as a property broker. He had revealed that he had visited the location to inquire into a land adjacent to the office of Tiran Alas. What is significant is that the motorcycle of this person claiming to be a police officer has not been registered with the Motor Traffic Department.
A
person in an unregistered motorcycle visited our premises and asked for details. We were suspicious. We made a complaint with the Cinnamon Gardens police on the 4th of April. He came here again on the 12th of April. We made a complaint with the police once again. He came here again today. We noticed his motorcycle and dialed the police emergency hotline. 2 police officers arrived and we handed over this person and his motorcycle to them.
The detained police officer was released after recording a statement. However, his motorcycle was impounded. Incidentally, a police constable attached to the Cinnamon Gardens police was arrested for the attempt to snatch a chain several weeks ago at the Vihara Mahadevi Park.
The May Day rally has become a hot topic in the political sphere. Let's take a listen to some of the views expressed by several politicians on the subject.
In the recent times, it was the joint opposition that was an alternative to the active government and represented the people. Therefore, we extend an invitation to the working masses. Come join us on the 1st of May at the Golfways Green to hold the strongest May Day rally led by the people in order to bring down the UNP-led government. Let it be a struggle to unite the workplace, the farmland and the motherland.
බවට ප්‍රකාශ කර ඇති ගෝල්පේස් මැදිනේට එක් වෙන ලෙස ජනතානිදහස් පක්ෂයේ ප්‍රමුඛ එක්සත් ජනතානිදහස් සන්ධානය.
The May Day rally of the SLFP-led United People's Freedom Alliance will be held in Kandy. There is a difference this time around because previously there was no other party. This time anyone can go to any May Day rally that they please. The UPFA May Day rally is in Kandy. This is not a decision made by an individual. The decision is taken by the Central Committee of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. If the need arises, the Central Committee will take disciplinary action. If there is anyone who is not pleased to remain in the party, a decision will be taken. 2 days before the new year, the Education Minister informs the additional secretaries, departments and institute heads that 10 activities including the appointment and removal of national school principals should not be done without his express permission. Once activities of the ministry began following the new year, the vacant position of Director of National Schools was filled by an individual who had been deemed unsuitable by the Ministry of Education and Public Service Commission. He had been deemed unsuitable as a result of a punishment handed down by officials. In addition, the position has been offered in a backdrop where the Western Province Minister of Education had produced a charge sheet against this person in connection to the purchase of computers. This was one of the first activities done at the Ministry of Education during the new year. Today, Action TV received information regarding another decision taken by the Ministry of Education through a media release. According to the release, a committee appointed by the minister, purportedly in line with the Right to Information Act, commenced operations today. The 6-member committee, which also consists of a secretary, has been named as the Information Request Review Committee. Instead of appointing an information officer to deal with public inquiries, the Right to Information Act does not call for the appointment of a committee to review the inquiries made by the public. Therefore, has the Ministry of Education followed this course of action in order to filter the information that is released to the public through the Right to Information Act? Can ministries be allowed to take steps which are not mentioned in any legislation in a bid to hide information from the public? Chairman of the Right to Information Act, this is over to you.
Pakistan's Supreme Court has ruled there is insufficient evidence of corruption to remove Nawaz Sharif from the role of Prime Minister. It instead ordered a further investigation into money transfers. Before we wrap up, here's a reminder, if you missed out on any of the stories we aired tonight, you can log on to our website www.newsfirst.lk. I'm Sonali Wanikabadage.
And I am Shamir Rasuldin. Join us again tomorrow, same time, same place. Till then, take care and
good night.